What is up, heroes? This is Midnight Zero, and welcome back to the NCPL. This is week 15, the last week of the regular season. This week we're going against James, coach of the New England Nihilegos. And I realized I didn't actually introduce James in the last episode, even though it was the team building against his team. But regardless, I explained it in the team building video. I do know that about half of you guys don't watch the team building video though, so I will explain again real quick. I'm sick. I've been sick. Lizzie finally arrived, which is really cool. I had midterms and stuff. Didn't put a lot of time into this team. That said, I'm feeling a lot better about battling in general. As we get closer to the playoffs, I've clinched the number one spot in the regular season, which is pretty hype. So we'll be number one seed going into the playoffs. 6 teams have made the playoffs. This match does not determine who gets into playoffs. The 6 teams that are in are myself, Manu and the Fresno Flygon, Sam and the Northlands Ninetales, Noah and the Kamloops Carablast, Tyron and the Salmon Arm Shuckles, and then James, who we're playing right now, and the New England Nihilegos. However, this match does determine the order of the 4 lower seeds, so it does have a bit of an impact there, so I apologize in advance for maybe not necessarily giving it my all, but I will say that I'm also somewhat hesitant to really kind of give this match my all, because based on the results of this match, I could be playing James for my next match in the second round of the playoffs because I have a bye during the first round. So that said, I'm still a little nervous. I always want to win and I want to play my best. Let's hope that my skills can make up for my team building. So let's see what he brings. Okay, so definitely some threats. I'm surprised there's no grass type, to be honest, between Decidueye and Lilligant. Honestly, I mean, Coco is scary. Garchomp does really well. I mean, I'm not surprised he brought Aggron. Aggron is really important to his team because he needs steel types. Mega Scizor is going to be able to put in work, in my opinion. He didn't bring anything that's weak to U-turn, but yeah, Suicune can also put in a lot of work. Tangrowth won't be as helpful as I thought. If I had to guess, I would say maybe lead Piloswine, physically offensive Archeops, which could actually be really scary if it is a dedicated, offensive Mon. He doesn't have any hazard control, which is pretty cool. So I think what I'm going to do is actually just start off with Bronzong. Gonna give a nice have fun, and then we'll hop into it. Yeah, I'm gonna lead off with Bronzong. I pretty much get up my rocks on everything, so, and I definitely want to get them up. It'll help a lot with whittling away at Tapu Koko, which can Volt Switch around pretty freely, and I imagine he's probably just going to do the same. So yeah, let's get up our rocks. We're just gonna trade rocks turn 1. I think so. At the end of the day, I have a bit of a more defensive team, so I think I can, heal off the rocks damage a little bit better over time. He doesn't know if I'm Levitate or Heat Proof. He probably thinks I'm Levitate because he has Mega Aggron and Piloswine. So he would think that I'm Levitate to avoid those ground type attacks. Until he knows though, he's probably just going to Heavy Slam. He's probably just going to go for rocks if he has them. Either way, I want to get up my rocks here. And then I can just switch into Suicune next turn because my physically defensive Suicune is going to take like nothing from Mega Aggron. At least that's what happened the last time I played Mega Aggron with Suicune in Season 2. Yeah. Let's see, and if he's got rocks on this, that would be interesting. That would definitely be interesting because he has both Archeops and Piloswine, which are typical rockers. Typical lead rockers. I imagine Piloswine is a bit of a defensive backbone, in addition to maybe even Como as a bit of a defensive backbone, especially defensive, I would guess, if it were Como's case. Actually, now that I think about it, does Bulletproof block Bullet Punch? I don't think it does, actually. I think that's like one of the funny exceptions. So he goes for Fire Punch. Interesting. He gets the burn, which is really sucky. But he brought specifically Fire Punch for Mega Scizor and went for this thinking that I was Levitate. So that's fine. He doesn't have his rocks up and I have mine up. I'm just going to go hard into Suicune. I don't mind. And if he wants to go Koko, anticipating that and trying to get some momentum, I can just go into Tangrowth. Either way, I'm making his Koko take, rocks damage, and then whatever he goes into after that, if he wants to Volt Switch out, is also going to take it. He could be running Brave Bird, which is scary, but I still take that on decently well. So yeah, we'll see what he wants to go for here. The burn is kind of rough, to be honest, but oh well, not the end of the world. Yeah, I'm glad I got my rocks up, because this is a match where it's very important for me to get chip damage. It's something I've talked about a lot in the team builder. My team is lacking a bit of damage output this week. I've got SD, Scizor, and I've got Scarf Chomp, and I've got Leftovers, Thunderous Tea. So I'm definitely going to need to chip away at things before I can potentially sweep with an SD Scizor, or a Garchomp, or my Thunderous Tea, which has Agility. And depending on which of those I want to sweep with, there's usually some piece I need to get rid of. This Aggron is the bane of Mega Scizor's existence. It just straight up walls it. As he goes into Volcanion. Interesting. Okay, so let's see here. What's he going to go for? If I had to guess, he is either Specs or a Z Crystal. I would definitely not be surprised if he was a Z Crystal. I think he's either going to go for Steam Eruption or Bloom Doom right off the bat. I think either way, I go into Tangrowth. I don't think he's going to Flamethrower here. I could just Protect. And scout for whatever he wants to do. I should probably count things. That is probably something I should do, and I just realized I don't have my team. In there, so let's do that. Come on. No, that's not where I wanted to paste it. Okay, let's see here. Tangrowth. It's just the AV set, so I should have probably just done that, but let's see here. Sludge Wave could do a lot, Fire Blast could do a lot if he wants to go for that. Even though I'm AV, which is pretty crazy. Oh, that is a spec set. That's modest specs, so I could probably take hits decently well. I could just Protect as well. How much would my Suicune take from a Bloom Doom is the real question. Sludge Wave, those are all specs, which he could be. I'm gonna make this no item and give him Solar Beam and make it Bloom Doom. Okay, so modest max special attack Bloom Doom would OHKO me, but that's coming from Solar Beam. What do I want to go for here? I could probably just go Bronzong, to be honest. I come up and Protect though and see what he wants to do. I'm gonna Protect. What does he go for? He goes for Flamethrower, or potentially anticipating the Bronzong or the Tangrowth. I think my switch here might be Garchomp. This is a bit of a tough call, to be honest, because Flamethrower does so well. I don't want to risk the burn on my Garchomp. But honestly, he could go for Bloom Doom here, thinking he's lulled me into staying in here. He could just be locked into Flamethrower, which would do a lot of damage to both, Tangrowth and Bronzong. So I think I'm going to go Garchomp here. As he just Flamethrowers again. Okay, don't get burnt. We don't get burnt. I want to see what damage that did. That did 29.4% to my Garchomp. And that was Flamethrower, correct? Okay, so if that did 29, that means he does not have a damage boosting item. Modest max special attack does 26 to 30, so he probably is Z Crystal of some sort. He's probably Z Crystal or Scarf if I had to guess. I can probably Earthquake here. Yeah, I can probably just Earthquake here. If he goes into Archeops, I have Bronzong, so I'm just going to Earthquake. Goes into Piloswine. So I'll be happy to get some damage off on that. That's fine by me. He's going to get up his rocks here, which is okay. I think the question right now is, do I want to go into Bronzong? Probably not. Do I want to go into Scizor potentially? Or I want to go into Suicune? I think Suicune's my play here. I think he's just going to get up his rocks, anticipating me to switch. I'm glad I got a little bit of chip damage on that, which means I'll probably put it in bullet punch range pretty soon. What I can do is substitute. Yeah, I'm just going to substitute right away. He's probably going to switch into either Volcanion or Tapu Koko. Either way, something's going to be taking Stealth Rock damage, and if he is choiced with either his Volcanion or his Tapu Koko, goes into Comb O. Goes into Comb O. Oh, you know what? He's probably got Clanging Scales. He's probably got Clanging Scales, because that'll go behind my substitute. How much would Clinging Scales do to me? Probably should have Calm Mind there if that were the case. Had not thought about that. Specs Clanging Scales would still do quite a bit. Would do quite a bit. I kind of want to protect. He could Dragon Dance here if he's that kind of a set, which he is, which is scary indeed. So I guess what I can do here is probably just Scald and go for the burn. Yeah, I'm just going to Scald here and go for the burn. Because if he gets up to, what, +2, I can probably just go into Bronzong and Toxic him. This thing is scary for sure. If he Dragon Dances again here, that's scary. So yeah, I'm just going to Scald. He Dragon Dances again. He's risking getting burnt here, so he doesn't get it, which is unfortunate, but Sky Uppercut, that's going to do decent. That's going to break my sub for sure. Do we get the burn? We do not get the burn, which is rather unfortunate. Let's see here. I don't know what item he is. He's not Life Orb. Physical sets are not quick to come by. Let's see here. We'll go with Jolly, max attack. How much is Sky Uppercut going to do? At +2, it probably won't even knock me out actually, which is kind of funny to think about. The question is, do I stay in and go for another Scald, or do I go into Bronzong right off the bat? So if he's max speed, he outspeeds my Garchomp right now, which is definitely scary. I could go for the burn again. How much does my Bullet Punch do from my Scizor? He could be a mixed set with Flamethrower. That's definitely a possibility. Actually, that's Life Orb. I probably even take 2, to be honest. I kind of want to Scald. See Sky Uppercuts, that does 46% at +2, so we live that. We finally get the burn, which is really nice, which means we can actually afford to substitute up, because he's not going to break our sub, as he's probably going to Dragon Dance again on this turn. From a probability standpoint, Scald's 30% chance. The probability of not getting burnt on 3 hits is 7/10 to the 3rd power. So let's see here, roughly 30%. So again, it's in my favor at this point. Let's see, do I protect here? He's not going to break my sub this turn, so he's got a Dragon Dance. I think he's going to Dragon Dance on the anticipated protect. What? He broke my sub. Oh man, did I get... It must have been a roll. Must have been some sort of roll. That's really unfortunate. That's actually really unfortunate. I wanted to keep this thing behind a sub and healthy. Okay, well, I can protect here. Is he going to Dragon Dance? No, he doesn't. He's just going for it. Okay, well, I can go into something else. I want to keep this healthy. Oh man, this is really unfortunate now, actually. I'm really mad that broke my sub, because then I could have protected and such, and probably gone back to around like 50% health or something like that. The question is on how much does my Bronzong take? My Bronzong probably takes quite a bit. Yeah, my Bronzong takes a lot. He's not Life Orb though, so that's always there. Could Scald and knock him out this turn, but then I'd basically be sacking my Suicune. Not so sure I want to do that. especially because we still set up on Piloswine and Aggron. I think one of the things I need the least right now is potentially my Bronzong. I'm going to go Bronzong here. I take minimal rocks damage. He's not going to be doing a ton. He's still doing a decent amount with that Sky Uppercut. But we are at least doing a decent amount. I think I'm just going to Earthquake here. She's probably anticipating a Gyro Ball. I might save this as Death Fodder. Again, I do think Bronzong is the most expendable member of my team. I don't remember if Gyro Ball is blocked by Bulletproof or not, so now we can pretty much go into something and pick up a kill. Probably going to go into Coco and Volt Switch if I had to guess. Whatever's coming in is taking rocks damage though, which is very important. And if he goes into Piloswine or Mega Aggron, I can just go into my Suicune. Also, the way he went into Como last time instead of Volcanion lets me know that he's probably choice locked. He's probably Scarf Volcanion if I had to guess, because after I revealed that I had Protect, he knew that I pretty much beat him 1v1, so that's worth noting. Yeah, so I think his play here is to potentially go into either Coco or Archeops. Either way, Scizor is looking a lot better now, as these things are taking more and more chip damage. I also think the number of kills he gets during this match matters if he wins, or even if he loses too. Not a big fan that kill-death ratios are being used to tie-break things because they're biased towards offense, but that's probably something I'll talk about next time, like in my little bi-week video when talking about like playoff rules and like tiebreakers and that sort of thing. Let's see, what else? If I get an agility up, what do I agility up on? I don't really agility up on a lot, to be honest. Thunder's Tea is not that helpful, so that would probably be the next thing I sack at this point. Once Volcanion is gone, Tangrowth is really helpful. He goes into Tapu Koko, so he's probably just going to Volt Switch here, which is totally fine by me. I'm just going to sack this. I'm going to go for Toxic in case he wants to stay in. He goes for Dazzling Gleam. He goes for Gleam, which is really interesting. Makes me think he might be Scarfed or Choiced of some sort. Because, if he's Choiced, he's probably trying to keep my Garchomp out, which is worth noting for sure. I'm probably going to want to go Tangrowth. Yeah, I'm probably going to want to go Tangrowth here. I mean, that's why I have the Assault Vest and everything, is partially to just help deal with Tapu Koko. Dazzling Gleam. It's not going to be doing a lot. I'm just going to go Tangrowth here. I mean, this is the same as like how it is in OU. Tangrowth is just a good special attacker switch in with that Assault Vest. Now the question is, do I Sludge Bomb here? Do I Earthquake here? Do I Giga Drain? That's the real question. Given how little I probably take from whatever he wants to go for, because even if he's like, what, Specs, I'll take like 30% from a Dazzling Gleam, and an HP Ice, and a Thunderbolt. No, even less from a Thunderbolt. I probably can just Giga Drain here. So I think that's what I'm going to do. It's the safe play, hitting neutrally on just about everything. And whatever comes in that's potentially slower, I threaten with potential Hidden Power Fire, that sort of thing. He could be running Brave Bird, of course. But, again, I don't think so. I think he's choice locked. I wouldn't be surprised if he brought like a Specs Coco and a Scarf Volcanion with a physically offensive Mega Aggron, a physically defensive Piloswine, a somewhat specially defensive Como, and I don't know, I'm really curious about that Archeops in the back. Which is definitely threatening. Definitely threatening. So I gotta keep Scizor healthy for the most part. But yeah, Sludge Bomb won't hit Aggron, although it'll hit this super effectively, and it won't hit Piloswine or Archeops super effectively. Whereas, so it's a bit of a riskier option. I could go for Earthquake, but again, that won't hit Archeops, and it won't do a ton to Piloswine, and it won't heal me up on a potential Volt Switch or a potential, Dazzling Gleam. Whereas Giga Drain, I should probably check how much Giga Drain actually does before clicking it. Giga Drain does 39 to 45, or 39 to 45. I would say it's likely, no, it's not likely that we 2 KO him then. But we also heal up, what? If we do 40% to Tapu Koko, we are taking roughly 110 health, so we heal about 55 health, which is about 1/8 or 12% of our health. So I don't think that's too bad, given he might be specs and do 30%. Yeah, I'm a Giga Drain here. I'm a Giga Drain. I think it's the safe play. He could also be running U-turn if he doesn't want to mess around with it. I think he's choice locked though, given that he's taking a lot of time for these moves. And again, I just want chip. I don't want to potentially lose a turn, right? I don't want to go for an attack that's not going to hit something or do like close to nothing, right? I want to at least get some damage off. He goes into Mega Aggron, so Earthquaking probably would have been the better play. Actually, maybe not. Giga Drain probably does more, to be honest. So at this point, the question is, what do I go into? He's probably going to Fire Punch here, or Heavy Slam if I had to guess. So I think what I'm going to do is actually go into my Thunderous Tea. Because I don't want to take hits from this. I don't want to weaken my Suicune just yet. I want Suicune... I want to pretty much sack something and then go into Suicune so that I can set up on it, if that makes sense. Yeah, I think... Or do I just sack Suicune here? I want to have Suicune around for Piloswine and Aggron, but I need to find a way to heal it up. How much am I taking from Aggron? Probably not taking too much, but of course, this thing could pack quite a bit of punch. It could do a lot of damage. How much is my Thunderous Tea doing into it? Because again, it is a game of chip, right? And he has to fear Focus Blast. I think I'm going to go hard into Thunderous Tea here. As he goes for Fire Punch. It does not get the burn, which is really nice. We'll live another hit for sure. Unless he's got like Head Smash or something. Which he very well might. He very well might. How much should we take from Piloswine Ice Shard? We actually... Oh, that's Adamant Violet. That's Adamant Max Attack. I don't think he's Max Attack. How much does his Earthquake did to Suicune, if I recall correctly? I think that's what he did, right? Did he even go for an attack? No, he didn't. Either way... Either way, what's the play here? I kind of want to just click Thunderbolt. I do want to click Agility though. No, I'm just Thunderbolt. Safe Thunderbolt. He goes into Piloswine. Okay, interesting. So, he's got to be a Violet. The question is he adamant or not? I don't think he's adamant, given he had a physically offensive couple other things. This is probably tanky. If I had to guess, probably not Max Attack. Oh, I should have... Well, actually, no, I'm not doing a lot of damage to this anyways. I'm really not, so... Do I go into Scizor here? Do I go into Scizor here? I don't really know what he wants to do. The Thunder's T is now pretty weak, which is less than ideal, of course. Wait, it's not even Mega yet, so don't want to calculate accordingly. I can probably go into Scizor here. He might pull a double. I'm gonna go Scizor though. As he goes for Icicle Crash. Oh, does he not have Ice Shard? Does he not have Ice Shard? That's interesting. Now, I can pretty safely U-turn here on whatever wants to come in, which will likely be Mega Aggron. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. Oh no, he goes into this. And it is likely Scarfed. Which is good to know. I could go into Suicune here and protect. Does Scarful Canyon, what does that do to my Suicune? It's probably, I'm just going to say none for the time being. I think it's Modest Scarf, right? Yeah. I think that was what we were thinking. Sorry, I got a little bit of a cold. 30%, so we'll be coming in at like 18%, and then get leftovers, 24% we can protect. He could knock us out with something like Steam Eruption or Sludge Wave. After that second leftovers turn, after protect, we'd be okay. But, I could go hard Garchomp. I could go hard Garchomp if I wanted to. I kind of want to go Suicune though. I think I'm going to go Suicune here. And we'll click Protect. Is he going to switch here, or is he not going to switch here? We'll see. If he is Z-move and has just been hiding it all along, kudos to you. It'll probably knock me out at this range. Could just switch out into Coco here. You could just hard switch into Coco here. But if he does, he needs to play the game of, you know, does he go for Volt Switch? Does he go for Dazzling Gleam? What does he go for? Because I do have a Volt Absorb Thunder's T that wants to get healed up. Protect is obvious, that's for sure. Actually, the Protect is really obvious. Protect is really obvious. I'm almost tempted to just Scald here. On whatever wants to come in. I think I'm going to Protect, actually. I'm just going to Protect. I think he's Choice Locked with his Tapu Koko as well, so if I don't Protect here, as he goes into Archeops. Goes into Archeops. Interesting. What does Archeops do? I know it runs Head Smash and it hits really hard, but I think he put himself in Bullet Punch range, which is really nice. He can be running Taunt. He could be running Taunt. Let's see here. Okay, so Stone Edge, Acrobatics, depending on what item he has. If he has no item, Acrobatics could KO me after the next turn. I'm going to Protect here, get as much leftovers as I can. So he is probably offensive. We should be living. Acrobatics is doing a maximum of, what, 148 damage? And I have 149 HP. So I should theoretically live this. So I'm just Scald. There we go. That was not a roll, if you're wondering. But we literally lived on one there. Oh, did I loop the music? I did. Shout out to Paper Mario 1000 Year Door. Great game. Like the original better. Come at me, Noah. Okay, so now what is he going to? Whatever he goes into, it's forced to take more rocks damage, which, you know, is of course what I want against Tapu Koko, so... Yeah, I literally lived that with 1 HP. Gotta love it. Yeah, I think he's gotta go Koko here. Either Koko or Volcanion. Either way, I'm really appreciating the chip damage on those. I think my win con in this game is SDing with Mega Scizor on Piloswine, or on Piloswine, actually, or just bullet punching away at Tapu Koko. I think if he does go Koko, though, I can protect and yeah, we can do some calcs. For sure. If you're max attack, I was supposed to live that with 1 HP, so... No problem, James. What else? That's with no item, I'd imagine. Yeah, if he goes Koko, I can protect, I can see what move he wants to go for, wants to lock himself into, and I can get leftovers to put me at a healthy range where I won't die to rocks, so I can actually switch in again at some point, get a Scald off or something like that. Let's see what he wants to do. Let's see here. What's looking good? What's looking good? He hasn't gone for Ice Shard yet with his Mammo, or not, his Piloswine, which is really interesting. Earthquake from Scarf Chomp is looking real good right now. I definitely need to chip away at that Mega Aggron though. It's coming in at 75% HP. As he goes into this as anticipated, again, I'm going to protect here. As he's Calm Mind. He's Calm Mind Tapu Koko? What is that? What is that? Either way, I'm not too bothered given my Scarf Chomp outspeeds and nothing wants to come in on it, so I'm just gonna Scald here and let this go. Or here come the mind games. Is he gonna Dazzling Gleam? He's probably gonna Dazzling Gleam. Dazzling Gleam is probably the play to make here. Either way, I know he's not Specs, which is really nice, which means Tangrowth can take this on really nicely. I do want to keep my Thunder Sea around. It can hit Mega Aggron pretty hard. I think at this point I'm okay with Suicune going down as much as I would like to keep it around for Aggron and Piloswine. I think I'm okay without it for now, so I'm just Scald. I see Dazzling Gleams, which is the safer play. And then I can just go into my Scarf Chomp here and click Earthquake. Something, probably his Piloswine, is going to be taking a lot of damage from it. Sam, so happy that, what's it called, Suicune died. So let's see here. If I were him, I would probably sack Volcanion. I would probably sack Volcanion and go into Piloswine. Oh no, he lets this thing take even more damage. That means this thing is no longer a switch-in. It is no longer a switch-in to, what's it called? To this, or just about anything really. Does Piloswine's Ice Shard, let's see, we'll call it a tank because it probably is a tank, to my Garchomp. Is it gonna knock me out? It is 4 times super effective, so probably, yeah, probably. Which means at the end of the day, I don't need to worry about this too much. The question is, what do I sack? As long as Aggron is around, I can't really SD up and win with Scizor. So I think Scarf Chomp is now my win condition. So I think my health on Scizor might be somewhat irrelevant. So I think I'm going to go into Scizor here. Yeah, because I just need a bit more damage on Aggron. As the Ice Shard finally comes out. Good stuff, James, for not revealing it too early. It definitely kept me guessing there. Now the question is, do I Roost or do I U-turn here? Do I U-turn on the Mega Aggron? Do I U-turn here? How much does my Bullet Punch do to, what's it called? Volcanion. It's not going to do a lot, that's for sure. 5 to 6%. I thought I'd do a little bit more than that. So after Rocks, I don't knock that out, which is a little bit disheartening. That said, like I said, I don't think I need too much health on this in particular. Unless he's max speed, or like got a decent amount of speed, I'd probably outspeed this and knock it out with U-turn anyways. At least I should. Yeah, U-turn probably knocks it out. That's what, max HP. Oh, that's max HP, max attack. If he's max HP, max defense, he might live the U-turn, which is honestly kind of scary. So I am tempted to just Bullet Punch here. Let's make an Aggron speed stat. Is he gonna outspeed me? Let's see. He's got base 50 speed. So with a little bit of investment, he could outspeed a minimum speed Scizor. So if he's more offensive Mega Aggron, he could pull that off. He could pull that off. How much does Mega Aggron take from my Garchomp's Scarf Earthquake? 30 to 35. Yikes, that is not enough. That is not enough. Definitely want to get more chip on that. Let's see. He's at 15. He's at 15. What was my calc before? If he's like, what, max defense? How much is my Scizor's U-turn doing? It's like, I don't know, bold. Okay, so I'm probably knocking him out with that regardless. I think I'm going to U-turn here as he goes into Aggron. Nice, I want to get some chip on that. Granted, that was 7%, so it's not like it was a lot of chip by any means, but it was something, which is better than nothing. And I don't want to go into my, Garchomp just yet, because he could probably knock me out with a Heavy Slam. I don't have him in range of Earthquake just yet. Granted, he might be more offensive. So I think what I'm going to want to do is go into my Thunderous Tea and go for a Thunderbolt. Yeah, I like that. That'll put him in Earthquake range. And nothing else wants to come in an Earthquake. If he goes into Piloswine, that's fine by me. I'm going to just Thunderbolt again. Could Agility here. It could, but I don't want to risk it. Let's see, Tangrowth's Giga Drain did, what, like 12%? And he probably doesn't to a KO me with Fire Punch, so worst case scenario, I could do 24, potentially 30% damage or so, and put him in Earthquake range with Scizor and Tangrowth, which would be less than ideal, but I need to make sure that Piloswine is gone first. He's definitely got to sack something here, or let this take enough damage to no longer be an Earthquake switch-in. And this is a pretty offensive match, to be honest. This is very much a do damage, potentially sack something, and move on for momentum's sake. If he goes into Piloswine here, I mean, he doesn't know if I have U-turn or not even. But again, I'm just Thunderbolt. I don't know what his item is. If he's Shuka Berry, Tapu Koko, that could be problematic. If I were him, I would probably sack Volcanion and then go into Piloswine. Just because it's the safe play, to be honest. Could him Power Ice here. How much is him Power Ice going to do to Aggron? Let's see here. Probably not a lot, to be honest. Yeah, no, it's not going to do enough to warrant anything that I want to do. I'm just T-Volt. He goes into Piloswine, so good stuff on him. I'm fine with that, though. Because because I can just go back into Scizor. And that means this thing can't switch in anymore. So he Ice Shards. It's kind of what he has to do, I guess. He's probably just going to sacrifice this at this point. I kind of want to Roost, so I can potentially take a Fire Punch from Mega Aggron. Because, yeah, we take those. Even if he's like, what, max attack, adamant, we take a Fire Punch from full, and it's not like he's going to be doing anything with this Piloswine in particular. Then again, momentum is always nice. And I keep saying I don't need HP on this. I probably should just U-turn here. Although I think he's gonna... I could get HP and then... Does he go into Aggron? If he goes into Aggron, it puts me in a bit of a pinch. I'm gonna U-turn. It's a safe play. Ah, and I was right. I was right. I could have roosted. I could have roosted and gotten some HP back, but alas. But alas. So what's the play here? What do I go into? So I go into Thunderous Tea. That forces him to go into probably Coco or Volcanion. This is looking pretty tough actually, because he might have more sacks than I do. Tangrowth is still healthy though. If I go into Garchomp here, I force him to go into Aggron. And that will give him a little bit more chip damage, which means I could be potentially okay with sacking Thunderous Tea at some point. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, the only thing on his team that can really take it is Aggron. So I force him to take some chip. He's not going to be able to knock me out with a Fire Punch, so he's got to go for Heavy Slam. So what I can actually do then is go into my Thunderous Tea potentially, or my Tangrowth, and get off a little bit more chip damage. Let's see, how much does Thunderous Tea take from it? From Heavy Slam. It still takes a lot. That's max attack adamant, of course. If he's not that, he's probably still going to do, what's it called? Enough. Yeah, after rocks, that'll be enough. So again, whittling away at that Aggron. Whittling away at the Aggron. Yep, there it is. Okay, so my play is 100% going to Tangrowth here. If he makes a really good read and goes for Fire Punch, goes for Ice Punch. He gets the freeze. And he gets the freeze. Gotta love that. Don't you just love that? Well, there goes my chance at an extra 20% of chip on this. I think I can still win it with my Thunderous Tea potentially. Oh well, gotta do what you gotta do. Hopefully we thaw. We don't thaw, so that is going to be goodbye Tangrowth. Which is really unfortunate because... what? Because I don't know if I can get the necessary chip damage I need to on Mega Aggron now, because I didn't roost up on Piloswine. What's the best way to go about this? Definitely not save Tangrowth at this point, which is unfortunate. So now my play is to go into Thunderous Tea, I believe. Can I whittle away at him enough to put him in Earthquake range? I don't know, actually. I don't know, that might have actually cost me the game. That might have cost me the game. So at this point, he definitely sacks Volcanion. I could win the game here. I could win the game here if I make the right play. He cannot afford to sacrifice this Aggron because then Scarf Chomp sweeps, so his play is definitely to sack Volcanion here to a Thunderbolt, but anticipating that if I Agility here, I then knock him out with Thunderbolt, and then I knock out Tapu Koko with Sludge Wave, and I get enough damage I need to on Aggron, so I'm Agility here. I'm Agility here. This is very much a gamble. I can feel my heart racing here. But honestly, I think I need to at this point. And we get the play right. We get the play right. So here we are at +2 speed now. We can Thunderbolt. And I think that's going to be able to do it because now we'll be able to guaranteed get a hit off on Aggron. And if not, we'll be able to go for Sludge Wave against Tapu Koko, which we know is its Scarf. And after Rock's damage, Sludge Wave will probably knock it out. So I think this is my only way of winning, so I'm gonna go for it. Man, my heart's still pounding. Please tell me we knock this out. Please tell me we knock this out. If not, I think we lose. If not, we lose. Let me calc this. Let me calc this. I want to calc this. Let's see here. Tapu Koko. Oh, my Sludge Wave does over 100%. I think we did it. I think we did it. Holy cow, guys. Holy cow. Now we're going to be able to get a Thunderbolt off, which should put him in Earthquake range. Click Thunderbolt, didn't misclick. Okay. That was the play I had to make, guys. That was the play I had to make to win. I don't think I had enough sacks, and of the Mon that I'd have to sack while doing so, I wouldn't be able to get enough damage off on Aggron to sweep with Earthquake, so I honestly think that was my only way of winning at that point. If I had Tangrowth, I could get the chip damage on Mega Aggron I needed and have the sacks in order to, you know, kind of go 1v1 or 1x1 and knock him out, but yeah. There we go. Now we go into our Scarf Chomp, which definitely outspeeds this, and we click Earthquake, and we type GG. Whew, what a nail biter at the end. What a nail biter at the end. That was a close match. That was a close match, and it was a good one. It was a good one. I had fun during that. I had a lot of fun during that one. It was every single turn having to update my strategy, having to make sure I was on top of my game, really keeping the end game in mind, right? As we got, you know, narrowed down, where we had one Pokemon that pretty much came in and got a kill, we had to make sure we had more sacks than the other Pokemon, and I really needed to get that chip damage on Mega Aggron and kept that in mind, and playing around the freeze on Tangrowth too, making the play when necessary. That is very out of my character, and so I'm really happy that I was able to pull the trigger when I needed to. So good stuff to James. It was a really fun one. We have officially finished the regular season. We are, what, 14-1? Yeah, we're 14-1. The only match we lost was our first match against Manu, coach of the Fresno Flygons. Now we are going into the playoffs, and we do have a chance to play James again, I believe. Yeah, we're the #1 seed, so we get a bye during the first round of the playoffs. We will have an opponent in the second round playoffs, and then hopefully a championship. And that is the only way we're going to potentially get a rematch against Manu, coach of the Fresno Flygons. So I'm hoping that we get to meet him there. But otherwise, I will be making a video talking about the season as a whole and my thoughts going into the playoffs next week, so look forward to that. But until then, this has been Night Zero, and this mission is complete.